Hello, and welcome back to the podcast where you are invited for lighthearted conversations about things that matter as you seek to live your most meaningful, beautiful, and joyful life. I'm your host, Dr. Edie Wadsworth, and I hope you enjoy your stay here at the House of Joy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast.
House of Joy, baby. House of Joy.
House of Joy, baby. Oh,
Hi.
what a start. We are so excited to be sitting here with you today. It's a good day.
It's a great day.
Okay, Mel Robbins always starts her podcast. She has this big intro, and she's
Okay.
always like, I can tell by the fact that you clicked on this podcast that you're wanting to do better for yourself. And so I'm proud of you. And so I'm
proud of you too.
so glad you guys clicked on this episode. It shows that you are wanting more for yourself.
That's right. Go Mel.
Go Mel. Anyway.
Also, this whole podcast is inspired by a podcast that Emmy listened to of Andrew Huberman. And after we started talking about it, I was so passionate about the topic too that we decided to do a whole pod on it because we know it's something that our people think about, struggle with. So today is all about procrastination.
Yeah, I actually clicked on the podcast because I was like, Spotify served this episode up for me, and it's actually from 2 years ago.
Oh, gotcha.
I can't remember the doctor's name.
Spotify was like, girl,
Let me
about
go
this?
ahead and give you this one. But it was really, I only listened to half of it because I was only listening on my walk, and then my walk ended. I should listen to the rest. But it inspired a great conversation between me and Mom.
did. And then we were like, oh, we should talk about this on the pod.
Yes, and we have so many, it was a very scientific take on procrastination. But we had so many practical and ways that it, goes into the emotional, all the things we usually talk about anyway. And this is something that is very prevalent in my life from the time I was 12 and still now. So I'm really excited to have this conversation. I think procrastination is a big topic. People think they know what it means. They think they know why.
Or the way they interpret it is so unhealthy that we hope we give you a lot
new
of
perspective.
hope, a new perspective today.
Nothing's wrong with you.
That's right. You're
if
not
you
lazy.
procrastinate. You're
so
not lazy.
Let's just get that out there. So here's the thing. I have been like this until the last few years. I would say the last 5 years. I've been this way my whole life. I would have a huge project to do, deadline looming, a series of exams in medical school. So if I would have a bunch of tests on a Monday in medical school, I would spend the first part of my weekend creating a whole new entire scrapbook.
I love that.
I remember one year, I remember exactly, I can remember the whole thing, exactly how I felt. I cleaned my house from top to bottom. I scrubbed the kitchen floors on my hands and knees. Mm-hmm. It was the most spick and span my house had ever been. And then I stayed up all night studying for those exams.
Yeah.
And aced them. And I was like, dang. I mean, I technically procrastinated, but also I got a lot done.
Yeah.
And I have had this tendency for a long time. It's not that I don't get the things done. I actually didn't procrastinate getting the things done. It's just when I did them was very close to the deadline. Yes. And I got a lot of things done besides the actual project. So if this resonates with you, if when you have a deadline or you have a project or you have something and you notice that you're working really hard on lots of other things, or you start a whole brand new hobby, which I've been known to do as well, then this episode I think is going to be really good.
This has really, now that you're even saying this, I'm even more eyes open to how much I do this in regular life on a small level.
On a small level.
I obviously don't have huge big projects or deadlines necessarily in my everyday life, but even if I know that I need to call, this is so funny. This might be borderline OCD as well. But
Go ahead, diagnose us.
Even if I know I need to call someone for the wedding or do something for the podcast, my brain won't, well, I say won't let me, it probably would, but I can't do it until the dishes are out of the sink or I can't work to the level I want to until like
certain things are
done.
Yeah.
And I guess that is a form of procrastination now that I'm thinking about it, because
yeah.
But it does make me feel better. Like, I'm sure you felt better that your house was spick and span to be able to study to your full abilities.
Exactly, like Superwoman. And which is sometimes why I do think of it as a little bit of a superpower. Yeah. And what I think what I know now that I didn't know then is that a lot of times those projects would feel heavy. Like there would be something about them that I needed to process through, or I would have a lot of limiting beliefs about my ability to do it, or I would fear that I wouldn't do it right, or that it would come with rejection. In some way, there would be an emotional block that was like keeping me from doing it. And I think that's the thing that I've realized over the years is that it was my lack of emotional processing ability. It was the emotional processing piece that I needed to do that I think my brain kind of went to work on, so that by the time it got here, it was urgent enough that, number one, I will get this amazing dopamine hit, from doing it. From anticipating doing it. And number two, it would be, it's not even that I think I did the emotional processing as much as I was like, I don't have time now to do that. So I just got to get to work.
I got to get to work.
Yeah. And
I thought about it enough.
Yeah. And I think over the years, what I've learned how to do so much better is be always in the process of the emotional work, regulating my nervous system, processing my life, so that now I feel like in most things I'm working ahead or way ahead or... Yeah. And so it's not something that, like, when you first said, oh, I listened to this awesome podcast by Andrew Huberman about procrastination, nothing about that made me excited to do a podcast, because I'm like, I don't really struggle with that anymore.
Yeah. I know. Sometimes we've got to, like, remind mom that where she is now is not where she's always been. Right. And even though she might... It is interesting, though, because you... like, I would never tag you now as a procrastinator whatsoever. Like, you're one of those people that you get something on your mind and you like kind of do it.
Yeah.
In terms of work and like creativity.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you started at a place where it's like,
this was my way of life.
And I feel
for
like that's
40 years.
Pretty common.
Yeah.
For people who are creative,
highly
and a
creative,
little bit more ADHD,
out of the box, maybe a little ADHD. Yeah.
Where it's like you don't find the dopamine from doing a task until it's like kind of looming over you.
Yeah.
Whereas
you need,
like
or you feel like you need the urgency.
You need the urgency. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing about that I will say is that because I had not really dealt with my trauma, I was so conditioned to live in fight or flight that I would wait until my system got in a little bit of fight or flight.
Yes.
To dig in and do the thing. So I think it was, some like unhealthy probably ways of dealing with things. But what is not true about it is that I was lazy. I was actually the very opposite of lazy.
I think that is the biggest misconception about procrastination, is that is a sign that you don't work hard, or that you're lazy,
and your brain kind of wants to tell you that, like,
you
always
wrong.
do this, you're doing it wrong. Yes,
this is the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I beat myself up in my head a lot because I honestly do procrastinate certain things. I don't procrastinate everything, but I think that is a sign of real procrastination, is that you're not doing anything. Right. You're just not doing the thing that you don't want to do.
Right.
You're putting off the thing that gives you more emotional distress.
Yes.
While doing the things that feel less hard.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're not doing anything, and it certainly doesn't mean you're not lazy. Like, I probably clean more when I'm procrastinating than I do before.
Yes.
But I used to make myself so wrong, and still I find myself in my head being like, oh, you're so lazy because I'm not doing that one thing that I know I'm putting off.
Yes.
Like, deep down the tasks that you're putting off.
Yep.
And I get really mean to myself.
But I also think, like, one of the other things that I've learned about this before we go into like how to reframe it and, how to deal with it, is that sometimes it can be a sign too that this is something that really no longer really matters to you. Like, are you just doing things that you should be delegating, that you really don't even any longer feel passionate about and, you know, like really want to do? Are you just putting things on your list that you think you should do?
Yes.
Or whatever. Like we've talked about that even with certain things with the wedding. Like, why are there certain things that we keep pushing down the road or that we keep, and I can think of one thing in particular where we're like, we finally said to each other, do we really want to do that?
Yes.
Because we keep not doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
I also think of it, and we talk about this in your program. I think we've had a podcast like surrounding, but buffering.
Yeah.
And a lot of the tasks that we do to put off the thing we really want to do
yeah.
are buffering.
Yes.
So those things might not be wrong.
Yeah.
Or bad.
Right.
Sometimes they can be.
Sometimes they can be. They don't have to be.
They don't have to be buffering.
Like, for instance, you guys, for years, I would have this thing that I really wanted to create in my business or when I had a blog or whatever. And instead of doing that thing, I would obsessively redesign my blog page.
Yes. No, this is so me. Y'all literally make fun of me all the time with the podcast. It's like when I know
let me work on the covers.
We need to like really think about the direction we want to take the podcast. I'm like, I think we should do a whole redesign first. New colors, new things. I'll spend hours
You're
on
now
Canva.
me 15 years ago redesigning my blog page. My friend Ruth would say to me, stop messing with your header and your sidebar on your blog and like do the actual thing that you're supposed to be doing, right? Mm-hmm. But man, I can remember so many Christmas holidays where I would start making my like New Year's resolution list and here's what I want to do. And then, but first, before I start doing those really important things that I've put on the list to do, I need to redesign my whole blog.
No, 100%. And I did this with the wedding the other night. I literally spent hours like designing in Canva, like programs or something. Oh, yeah. Girl, you got bigger and better things to do than the programs that are sitting on the tables. And that could be done literally
a week before.
And you do have bigger things to do. But yes, did I spend a whole evening playing around in Canva? Yes, I did. And
I mean, I've gotten to the point in my life where somebody just needs to lock me out of anything where I can mess with the design of something.
Yeah, because
I just need to be locked out because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to use the software. I will spend hours down a rabbit hole trying to figure it out.
Actually, I'm literally doing this with my house now that I think about it right now. Like, I literally don't have a kitchen table. And the way that I almost started redecorating my actual room that has all the furniture in it.
Instead of getting
a kitchen table, it's like, girl, you have nowhere to sit for dinner. And
I don't think you need more pillows
you
for
don't
your
need
bed.
new pillows. You do not need a new comforter. You need to get a kitchen table.
What you need is a kitchen table. Oh, see, now it's all coming back to me. So, but one of the things that we wanted to chat about, and I think Andrew Huberman talked about this too, is how to reframe it. So instead of saying to yourself, I'm lazy, this is terrible, I'm always doing it wrong, and beating yourself up for it or whatever, if you can reframe it and understand that there's probably some reasons here, like dig a little bit beneath it. And literally what I have found most of the time is that there's something in the emotional realm that you don't want to face, that you don't want to feel, that you haven't processed through, that will keep you doing this. And so whether or not, you know, it's a project that, whether it is like for you and I right now with the wedding, like it's this big thing. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know if I told you this, Em, but when we were coming back from Minnesota, I had my computer out and I was working on my computer while Dad was driving. And one of the things that I was working on is my personal stuff related to the wedding. Mm-hmm. And I just couldn't get any clarity. I was just like, certain things that I was thinking about, you know, and I just was like, ugh. So I just started to skip over to something else. I just got to work on something else. Yep. I can't figure out this thing that I need to figure out. And all of a sudden, I was already, by the way, had already been in this state of being upset about leaving Savannah and Tim and the baby. So I was already emotional and I started sobbing.
Yeah.
And what I realized is, oh, I have a lot of emotion around the wedding.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting married.
Mm.
Like, it changes things. And I don't want to get emotional, but I realized, like, oh, there's like part of the reason that this feels hard is because I don't want to process that. Like, I'm so happy for you, and can't wait till Hatto gets home. But it's also that I just know how it changes things, and I think I hadn't processed that. So sorry for
cool.
So sorry, everyone, for ball crying on the podcast.
Well, we need to do. We're procrastinating our emotions by sitting down together on these podcasts and not.
And then they come right out.
Literally. Yeah. No. I mean, that's. We've talked about a lot of. I mean, I have so many emotions surrounding the wedding that I couldn't even begin. Like, I procrastinate even processing the emotions because I don't even know where to begin in that aspect.
Yeah.
And it does bleed into all of the tasks because each one has like an underneath of like, oh, that makes it real.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes. And I can't I can't even barely let myself like go there.
Yeah.
Because it feels like too much, but that I think is the very point of like you actually will be able to get more of your tasks done if you just let yourself feel that.
And you know what? Here's the interesting thing. Because I had like 2 hours on this drive. Tom was in the back going, "What are you crying about now? You always do this." I'm like, I know. But after that, oh my word, I feel like it really opened up something. Because I spent the first hour basically crying of that trip. And then I felt like I did get a lot of clarity and I got a lot done. It like released the energy. Like, I don't think we realize how much energy we're taking up by holding all of that in our bodies and in our minds without allowing for it, releasing it, acknowledging it. Like, you know, I kept saying to myself, of course this feels hard. It is
hard.
Baby
it's
girl. And she's getting married and it's hard and it's a big deal. Yeah. And letting yourself feel all of that and be right there. And yeah, it was really good. And I do feel like that after that, I had such a good, I did a lot of journaling. I actually got a lot of good work done after that. So anyways, it ended up being good. But I don't think I think it's easy to creep up on us. So even after, for the most part in my work, I've gotten so good at not doing this, at, you know, being excited about starting things early and getting things done early. I think in something like this where there's a lot of emotion tied to it, you just got to allow for that and give yourself
100%.
space for that.
I think too, like, I think we write off little tasks. Not that everything has to be so deep, but when you feel like a true, like, not restrained, but like true not wanting to do something even over small tasks. 'Cause I find this with like even really small minuscule things that don't have a ton of weight to them.
Yeah.
Usually actually do, and that's why you feel like it's so hard to get it done.
Yes.
Like, I've seen TikToks where people are like, and it is tied to ADHD, but I think it can also, that even can be tied to your emotions. But like, I have literally put off calling the dentist for like 5 years, and it took 5 minutes
to do it.
But there's probably a reason that like that particular thing, even as small as like calling the dentist or making an appointment to.
Well, yeah. And you know what? Something like that is probably tied to, it's kind of similar to what I'm going through at the wedding. Oh, this means that this is a definite break of,
yes.
For you, like, I'm in charge of my life. I'm the one that has to do it.
Yes.
I'm no longer is someone doing that for me or making sure that I do that, right?
Yeah. And it's like you can't write off it just being a small task for it. There's a reason that you have resistance to do things like that.
Yeah.
Of course, the wedding brings up a lot of things, but even work, like I told you, I have been trying to be more social media present. And boy, does that, like, the actual posting of a TikTok and making of it surely is not that hard. But the actual emotions that come with pressing like post and putting yourself out there, that's the thing you don't want to do. I don't want to feel what it feels like to be vulnerable and put myself out there.
Right. So and that's the thing that Huberman was talking about.
Yes, you're not actually putting off the work. You're not actually putting off the task. You're putting off the emotions that come with doing a task.
Yes. And the other thing to remember is that when you're doing that, you are mentally like preparing for it, kind of rehearsing it. Your brain is working on it. Mm-hmm. Even though, because think about how often you're thinking about the thing.
Oh,
but
all
not
the time.
Doing
it's always
the
in the back of your head. And that's the thing. The thing you're procrastinating, even when I'm cleaning, I'm thinking about, I probably should be
get
doing
started
the
on
other
that.
thing. Yes.
Yeah.
It's filling your brain the whole time.
Yeah.
You are processing through.
You're processing through it.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I think just acknowledging that and getting better in general at acknowledging your emotional life and how regulated you are, acknowledging the fear, the discomfort, the grief, whatever it is that's associated with the thing that you're putting off, like just acknowledging that.
It is so interesting. I've never thought about it, and he didn't really go into that, but like the period of time that you're not doing the task as the period of time that you're processing the emotions associated with the thing you're not doing is so interesting. And it makes sense why we talk about things like journaling and the creation cycle and how staying in those things once a week, once a day. Yeah. If you're processing through random emotions, not so random. Every single day, you have way less periods of time that you need for those big specific events. And it makes so much sense why you don't really struggle with that as much, because you are heavily involved with processing your emotions all the time. Yeah. So,
or way more than I used to. I could still be better at it.
Yes, but your period of time of a procrastination it barely even seems like that, because you don't really put things off as much.
It's interesting too, because the last time that I can really remember doing it was at the first of last year when I was going to create master coach training. No, not at the first of last year. So this would have been like last summer when I knew I wanted to create it, but I kept putting it off. And then when I actually said I was going to create it, I still had a lot of resistance, and I got a lot of coaching on it. And it was like this imposter syndrome. Like, who am I to say I know what should be in a master coach program? Who am I to do this? It was like that fear of failure, fear of rejection, imposter syndrome. And it took me a while to work through that. And the crazy thing is, we had such an incredible time together with the coaches who went through that first round of master coach training. When we were together this summer for the live event, it was like insane. They brought me their books they had written, their podcasts they had started. Like, they had such insane transformation, such amazing growth, produced all these incredible projects. And I thought to myself, just a year ago, I was thinking, who am I to even do this? Yeah. And so, I think we have to leave space for the bigger things we challenge ourselves to do. It probably still comes up. It's probably still a thing, but it becomes less and less, I think, the more we're willing to be with ourselves, acknowledge what we're going through, even in something as incredible and amazing as a wedding. Yeah. Like, I love what Sydney said yesterday about she's been thinking about her wedding and saying, like, I'm just about to throw the most incredible party. Yeah. And I've been thinking about that a lot because we love weddings.
It's so fun.
I can't wait. Like, in so many ways, I can't wait. It's going to be the most epic thing. I'm so excited about it. But then I have to also acknowledge the other side of that, right? Yeah. Which is, it's hard, and it's a loss in a way. Yeah. It's a separation from your parents, the sort of leave and cleave that the scriptures talk about. So just being willing to acknowledge that, I think, can be really, really helpful. And the stuff that Huberman talked about, where it's basically you're giving yourself time to do some emotional regulation, to think about it, to get yourself ready. Because really, all these years that I would have called myself a procrastinator, I was doing
getting
so
much done.
Right.
And that's why I think it's harmful to immediately go to the negative.
Yeah, the negative side of it.
Because there's a reason your body might not be ready to do that task. But it is also up to you to make yourself process those things to be able to have less, like, why can I not ever remember this word? Less resistance
to it. Yeah. So here's a few things that I think could be helpful for those of you who struggle with this, like we have, like we do sometimes, that I think will make you work through it, reframe it, think about it in a different way, is to, first of all, if you find something that you have a lot of, that you're finding yourself procrastinating about, ask yourself, what's the fear or what's the emotion?
What is the root? I love this because usually you can tie it to, for me, a lot of times it's some sort of perfectionism.
Yeah.
And needing to prove myself in some way through tasks.
Yeah.
And needing them to be at a certain level. And it's so funny because now that I've been coached by Carrie, I can hear her questions when I pose these things to myself. Like, it needs to be at this certain level. She'll always be like, so what does it perfect mean? What would it mean for it to be perfect? And I never can answer the question.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of the time the root for me is like some sort of perfectionism. Or fear of rejection, like what you said, fear of rejection, fear of getting it wrong, fear of not being perfect, fear of it's usually some sort of fear that,
something like that,
my brain is like keeping me from.
And you can think about that, like you mentioned this earlier, this could be toward little things like, oh, I want to go through all my clothes and clean my clothes, my closet out, or I don't love my job and I want to pursue something different in my life. It could be a really big thing or, a small thing. And I think the same thing applies. There's probably some kind of fear or emotional root, something there. And if you can get good at naming that and helping yourself,
it gets you to the result faster. So, and even if it doesn't, at least you're recognizing why you put certain things off. Yeah,
like what's the emotional weight behind it? What's the fear behind it? What's the,
And
whatever.
I would say when I get to my most stuck place in terms of like because it all compounds, because the more time you put in between tasks, you I think that's how people can fall into like a rut. Yeah. Is that then you don't want to do any of the things because it starts to feel like it compounds. Like, now I've not done so many things.
Yes, your brain piles on. Like, now it's so overwhelming because...
Yes, and that can be where I'm, like, really getting in a negative headspace towards myself because not only did I put this off, but now I'm putting this off. And now I'm not doing that I said I would do. And now I'm just scrolling. Yeah. It can really get you into a, like... spiral almost. Yes. And every time I sit down and think like, why am I doing this? Yeah. And I never want to do it because your brain wants to keep you in a spiral. It wants to keep you,
because then you don't have to take action. You don't have to take any action. You just get to spin.
But the other day I was getting in a kind of a spiral on Saturday. Yeah. Because all these emotions were piling up for like the wedding, there was like a lot of things, and it was getting to the point where, like, I didn't even want to, like, it felt like I was bedridden of, like, just the pressure. I can't move.
I can't get up. It's too weighty.
Yeah. Yes. And finally I just made myself go on a walk. And even that, like the processing that you can do from movement or just any sort of, like, getting out of the space.
Well, for sure, because it's usually an emotion that's causing this, right? Yeah. And so movement helps move emotions through your body. So
then you're like, oh, well, I stopped procrastinating going on that walk. Now I feel like I can do another task and another task. Yeah. So,
which brings us to the second thing after like naming the fear or naming the emotion. The second thing would be to create a small win. So I've done this so many times where it's like, I'm just going to set a 15-minute timer and I'm going to work on it for 15 minutes. And what I get done in 15 minutes is it. So many times when I do this,
once you
I
start,
get
you're
so
like,
into it.
wait, I got to keep going.
Remember that weekend where I told you guys, this was like a couple months ago, and I'm like, you guys, I basically wrote a book proposal over the weekend. Like, I had been thinking about it forever. And then literally, once I started working on it, I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
So that it's like that kind of thing.
Give yourself something with the dopamine. Like, I think timers
help. Mm-hmm.
And that's what we talked about at the beginning. Like, having a deadline is sometimes all you need. And as adults, like, for the most part, if it's something outside your job, like, no one's giving you a timeline. No one is really in life giving you a date to get something done by.
Yeah.
It has to be from you.
Yeah.
And tricking your brain. Like, I think timers are a great way to trick your brain that you have some sort of deadline.
It does. It gives you that sort of micro urgency, that little bit of dopamine, or whatever. And so whatever it is for you, like, just give yourself some kind of timeline or urgency and just start. Even if you do it for 15 minutes, even if you do it for 5 minutes, and then usually what will happen is you will just that much of forward momentum is so good for your brain that then you'll be like, oh my gosh, that turned into an hour, and look at, how far I got.
Yeah.
And then you can build on the wins. But I think creating like a small win for yourself, especially something that feels overwhelming, like you're saying, that it can really help. And then I think too that what I have learned to do, I've not always been good at this, but what I've learned to do is really celebrate. So even if you, say for me, I'm trying to create something new, sometimes I will just say to myself, I'm just going to start the document, because I do a lot of my work in Google Docs, right? And I'm like, I'm not going to say I have to get this thing done, but I'm just going to open it up, start the document, title it, maybe create an outline. And then you give yourself a little bit of celebration for that. Like, oh,
I did that.
We're started now. I did it. Because sometimes the starting is the hardest part, because we've had this with podcasts. Like, Emme and I will have, like, literally right now sitting in our Asana board are 10 outlines for full episodes that we've brainstormed. That we have not done, because we get to the time when we do it and we're like, nah, I'm not feeling real motivated. I'm not feeling so inspired by that. So let's create a new one.
And within that urgency of, like, we're about to film tomorrow,
sometimes our best ideas come, right?
Yeah.
And we've got all those to fall back on if we need them. We've done the work and created that. But, just allowing yourself, instead of making yourself wrong for it, allowing for when sometimes that is when your best inspiration comes, great. But also celebrating.
Because our brains are so quick. Like, notice, like, especially when you're in your head, we let these negative thoughts just, like, become reality. And I've had this where when I finally did the thing I was procrastinating, I'm like, instead of celebrating, I immediately go to, like, you could have done this 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Like, this was easy.
Yes.
Why didn't you just do it 2 weeks ago? Instead of being like,
that was amazing. That was amazing. Yes, that's the point too. Is instead of beating yourself up for it and saying, "Oh, I just wait until then," celebrate that. Man, I churn out some great stuff.
Yeah,
like,
and this was the perfect timing.
So much done, and this was the perfect timing. Instead of I should have done it whenever, because I think the more that you celebrate that, the better you'll get at. If you don't like the pattern of creating things at the last minute or the 11th hour or whatever you want to call it. I think it's going to be easier to change that if you celebrate that you are a person who, gets a lot done. And
it always makes me feel better too. Like, God did design us perfectly. And yes, we put things off, and sometimes it is not maybe the right thing to do. And it's kind of like we talked about in our decisions episode.
Yeah.
But I do think God designed us perfectly with the perfect timing. And if you really look at time and how it works and the amount of time something took you to do,
yes,
sometimes you wouldn't have produced the right thing if you didn't do it in the time that you did it.
Yes. So celebrate however it is you got it done. Celebrate it.
Yes. And
that's so good.
Yeah, I think we're too often like, I'm talking to myself because I literally do this all the time, because procrastination is something that I really struggle with sometimes, where I just am so negative about every part of the process.
Yeah.
That like, of course I keep doing it the same way every time because I believe that that's how I just do things.
Right.
And instead of seeing it as like, this is the way that I got to this end and how I got through whatever. I just think we're so quick to be like, oh, so
here
negative.
I go again or whatever. Yeah. Instead of getting curious about what might be under it or behind it, instead of using it to learn more about ourselves, to connect ourselves more to God, more to our purpose, more to ourselves, more to our work, we use it as a way to discount ourselves, to make ourselves wrong. So anyways, I hope that's been helpful because I have noticed that over the years of kind of having a lot of shame around procrastination, when I learned a lot of the tools that I know now, I was like, man, I created a beautiful life.
And I processed a lot of emotions procrastinating certain things.
Yeah. And
it's not always bad.
Not always bad.
Can be.
Yeah.
But anything can be bad if you're not using it for your own good. So
So that was fun chat.
Love that.
Thanks for chatting. Let's do real quick, spur of the moment. We didn't even prep for this, but I have a couple things I want to share. Let's do some favorites. 3 favorites.
Okay.
I'm going to start with something we made while you were here, which I've been wanting to make for a good while, which is the cottage cheese
Oh my gosh.
bagels.
Guys, I don't like cottage cheese. I am a certified like trustworthy source here because I don't like cottage cheese.
You hate the texture.
Okay, it's mostly the texture. The taste, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
But these bagels
So good.
are so good.
They sure are.
So you have to try them. It's like 3 ingredients.
You have to try
It's
them.
one of those like real recipes where you're like, y'all, I don't trust you.
It's literally a cup of cottage cheese, a cup of flour, and an egg. And you could do with or without the egg and a little salt.
Yeah. And it is truly good.
We made it last night. We were having beef stew with veggies. And sometimes I'll do rice with that or, maybe mashed potatoes with that or just a little corn muffin or sometimes nothing. But I was feeling like we needed a little something. And I'm like, no, we're going to really quick whip these up. We literally made them
so fast
in 20 minutes. I mean, they've got to cook that long, but it takes no time to whip them up.
I recommend
They were to die for
someone who doesn't love the texture of cottage cheese to blend it.
Yeah, I did blend.
Cheese.
I blended the cottage cheese, but not enough for Emmy. She goes, I
Thin
still
chunks.
see little curds in there.
I just like, that's not my favorite thing. And if I'm going to be using cottage cheese, like it's going to be blended up so that it appears to not be cottage cheese.
And I've been making, by the way, so many. So I've been blending up cottage cheese for a straight month because I did this deep dive on Bethany Frankel's Supermodel Snacks, and she's always blending cottage cheese and mixing it with like hot sauce or whatever. So anyways, I've already been on my grind of whipping up cottage cheese.
This is just what I think is that could they just not sell
cottage cheese whipped up
blended? Like, why aren't we doing that at this point? It doesn't have to be in curds. It doesn't have to appear that way for it to have the same.
Such a good point, Emily.
Maybe we should do that.
Maybe we should.
But like, it's so unappealing, and we're masking it in every way we possibly can when we could just be
like the
blending
idea
it up
of
and
it,
selling it as what it can be.
Tell us out there in podcast land, is somebody already selling blended up cottage cheese? They should be
because we wouldn't have to mask it in all of these creative ways if it was just blended up.
No, we would not. So what are we doing, folks?
Anyway,
with our life.
I actually loved those bagels, and I was skeptical. I was like, your girl can't be tricked.
Even the texture of them was good.
Amazing, like a biscuit, like it was like a
biscuit.
I was like, we could totally make gravy biscuits with these.
Mm-hmm.
They incredible. Highly
they were
recommend.
incredible.
One of my favorite things is actually one of the gifts I've gotten for my wedding.
Okay.
It was on my registry, and it is the Breville espresso machine.
Tell me everything, because I still don't think I want one, but tell me why I should want one.
It's better than yours. I'm sorry. It does taste better
I have
than
like the top of the line automatic espresso machine, and Emmy is throwing lots of shade to mine.
I think they're better when you can pull your own shots.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the baristas out there would agree with that. But because you can control like every step, it's definitely more for a person like me. Like you actually have the correct one for you.
For me, I do.
Because you would never spend the time to pulling a shot. But for me,
absolutely not.
It's very expensive. I'm so thankful for my friends who got it for me. I put it on the registry, like kind of just like crossing my fingers. Like if no one buys this, it's okay. But we've already made so many coffees and they are truly so good.
Wow.
So good. Like I was skeptical. I mean, I knew I wanted it, but I was like,
haven't you even been watching videos on how long to
yes,
how much milk and how long to steam it?
Yes, I have. And it produces a perfect coffee every time. We have a scale that we use.
Oh,
that
wow.
I use. I know I'm crazy. It's fine. But I was just a little skeptical. I'm like, we had the Nespresso before. And I'm like, is it really going to be that much better than the Nespresso? Like, so much cheaper to get an Nespresso. It's that much better.
It's that much better.
Like, it is so good. If you love coffee and you love espresso,
you're going to love it.
It's not for everyone. Like, it is a lavish expense.
Yeah.
But I really have been blown away by how much I really believe it's so much better.
Even than what you could get at Starbucks or a coffee shop.
Yes, I like it a lot better. And you just can control it so much more customizable. You're saving so much money.
You're going to have to make me a coffee when I come to chat, Emily. And I will make my own.
And my second favorite thing actually goes in line, so I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Go ahead and tell us.
But I think part of the reason it's so good is the syrup that I order.
Oh, tell me.
It's called Proper. And it's actually better than, it's like less ingredients than those store-bought ones.
The ones that you can buy at the store, yeah.
It's like basically just like raw sugar cane and then the flavoring.
Okay.
But they're called Proper syrups. And a lot of like really nice
coffee shops
use Proper. I think Emma Chamberlain's coffee shop uses Proper.
Oh.
But you can order it online. I'm pretty sure you can order it as like a subscription, or you can just, they have a bunch of flavors on there. They are top tier. Like that also
makes a difference.
Makes a huge difference. So I've been on my coffee journey.
Okay. I have a last two things to share. Young Living. We were just in Utah at the convention. They came out with a collagen serum.
Amazing.
And an under eye brightener. Those two products I am obsessed with.
They did it right with those.
I mean,
two.
You young girls are loving the skincare too, so I know that it's not just me.
I need to circle back like next time we record, because I just got the full bottle a couple days ago, so I need to like give it the full test. But already you can just tell it's great to go under makeup. Actually, I'm doing my own makeup for my wedding at this point, and you need, like, it's really good to have like a tacky base, and so I'm thinking it's gonna be great,
a great base
to go under my wedding makeup. So
amazing.
It's very hydrating.
I am loving it. It's very hydrating. It smells amazing. It is so good. Loving it so much. Last thing can be a joint thing. I don't know if we ever talked about these. Well, okay, let's do two things.
Girl, we saved some for the next
Should we save some for the next episode? Okay, we'll save them.
We struggle, like, and you're like giving all 5 and 1. Like,
okay. But I'll forget. Let me write it down. Okay, next time, you guys, you have to listen to the next episode.
To the next episode so that we have some left.
All right. Love you so much.
We love
Can't
y'all.
wait to see you next time. Bye for now.